Hi, Proctor. So this is just it's essentially exactly what I already told you in the email, but a little more information because it's visual, that's all. So what the student sees when they go into my math lab is a screen like this. When I make reference to the My Stat Lab panel, I'm talking about these. So when I talk about how they can open up StatCrunch from within the panel, it's this. It'll open up in a new window. This is one way they can go there, and they can click open up StatCrunch. All this has to take place before they get started. So make sure that happens before they start on the midterm. If they follow the link that I sent you, which was right here, then they would have opened the window and it would have looked a little bit different. It would have looked like this. That's the only difference. So it's either this or this, and it just depends on which link it is that they're using. Okay, in addition to that, I do not want them to be able to go to, this is the reason why we need the proctoring, because I do not want them to be able to go to other pages like the homework or the gradebook or the study plan, because in all of these locations, even gradebook, you can review old homework or old quizzes or other questions that will be similar to the ones on the midterm, and I don't want that available, especially for them to be able to review the practice midterm while they're taking this midterm. It was fine for them to practice, but that time's over. It's time for them to now test. So without further explanation, here is where they'll click when they are ready to start the quizzes and tests. The practice midterm link will be dead by that point. They can click on the midterm. They have to put in the password, and I put that in the email. It is case sensitive, so make sure you capitalize those letters that need to be capitalized and type everything in very carefully. They have a moment here to just double check that they are on the right one, that they haven't clicked on the wrong, like, clicked on a quiz, for example, or practice test, that they are in the midterm, that they have this many questions, and that they have this much time. If they need to, they can take some time to remind themselves how to enter questions or how to enter answers to the questions, but that would be very surprising that they didn't know how, given that we've gone through almost half the course. So they should be familiar with this. You know that they're in the right window when it's a green background or a teal colored background. The homework windows are blue, and they have all sorts of homework aids over here. And since it's green and it says test, you know that they're in the right spot. So they answer each question. They can advance down here or advance up here. I'm really telling this for your benefit, to see what they're doing if you need to, not for theirs. You don't need to instruct them in any way how to use this site, because they've been using it for quite some time, and we've gone over all those questions. If they forgot to open StatCrunch, they can open StatCrunch here. The one drawback to opening StatCrunch inside the testing window is that it only opens up and stays open for that specific problem. If they open StatCrunch and they have it, let me just go and peel it open, they have it on a separate window, then they're allowed to scoot this over. Then they're allowed to use this kind of advantage of like rolling this window around while they answer questions here on the test window. So that's a much better way to do it, which is why I want them to open StatCrunch before starting the test. And they either open it from the panel or from the link that I sent. But worst case scenario, they could always open it just for that particular question. But then when you go to the next one, it will shut off when I hit either next question or next question here. They can also use this calculator. It's the basic calculator. This is the one that they should use if they just need simple calculations like that. Or they can have a physical calculator with them, and this is one of the approved ones, the TI-83 or the TI-84. They're pretty much the same. They can use the TI-85 or 86. They're not, those calculators aren't as suitable for this class, but they do work. You don't need to answer any questions about how to use their calculator. So if they ask, you can say, I don't know. If you do know and you want to help them, that's fine. The one thing that I said in the proctoring request is, if you will you will you turn it on and then click the program button and see if they have any special notes? Because this is where some people hide notes in the programs. If they have something like dist, that stands for distance formula, or quad for the quadratic formula, if they have a few of those, that's fine, but otherwise they shouldn't have any programs in here. Programming in this calculator is really clunky and nobody does it anymore. Very few people do it anymore. Since I've shown you StatCrunch and the calculator, I might as well also point out, when I said that they could use Excel, make sure they can use Excel, but make sure that it's blank, that they don't have anything on any of these other tabs, because I don't want them to come in with pre-formatted sheets that came from when they were doing the practice midterm and then just, kind of cheat and plug in through those forms. I want them to be able to answer these questions fresh. I want it to be a test. All right, I think that's all I need to bring up, or all I wanted to bring up. Let me just double check. Yes, actually, there is one more thing. So I did mention that they were allowed to use StatDisk. Again, StatDisk, Excel, the calculator, StatCrunch. All these things need to be out before they get started, and they need to be blank. But StatDisk is found in the Tools for Success folder, and it would have already been installed from the website if they were going to be using it. Most of the students are not using StatDisk, so I don't think they're going to bring that up. But it's a particular program that we can get because we've paid for our course material, and so they would have got it here. They don't go to some other web page, and they don't download it from Google. Although I guess it would be possible, or wouldn't be impossible. They have approved notes. I did mention those. The approved notes I'm going to link for you. So they're in the email that comes with this, or came with the previous proctoring email that I sent you. And you'll just see a few sheets in here. They'll have them printed. You can look through these if you want. I'm pretty much trusting them on that. If they bring printed formula sheets like this without any manipulation other than highlighting, like yellow and blue highlighting, that's okay. Then I think we can trust them that they're doing the right thing. I'll open it up from the Dropbox page just in case you want to see how that looks. Again, you don't even have to watch this video if you don't want. You can stop at any time. I just wanted to make sure that there were no questions remaining. When they open it from Dropbox themselves, they had the items listed like this, and they were supposed to be able to download them. Some of them view them in here within Dropbox's viewer, and then they print from here, and it prints only a quarter of the page. I can't really demonstrate like I'd want to, so they should have downloaded them as PDFs and then printed those from those PDFs. But those things should have all occurred a long time ago. All right, I've gone on way too long. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you proctoring. I'm not expecting you to put an eagle eye on them, but I'm asking you as a proctor to be checking to make sure that they're not, while taking the test, they're not trying to go to other websites, or especially the gradebook or homework or study plan, because several of these questions are similar in objective type to homework problems, and I don't want them to just regurgitate what we've done before. I want them to prove it in a test.